Good morning, everybody, and thanks for joining us. I appreciate it. I'm going to go through all the alerts that we've added as new features to Bright that we think we're very proud of, and we think it's long overdue. When I do performance reviews for our clients, for you guys, I always harp on certain things to watch because they're very, very important to be watched not on a weekly or monthly basis, but a daily basis. For example, I'll go into the margins. For example, if anybody has ever done this with me, I go into the margins and what do I care about? I drill right into the reports, and I care about the margins, the unit cost and the unit margins, things that you should watch on a daily basis. So what we've done is we've created a alert that can be a widget on a dashboard as well as a email alert to your email account. So I usually when I'm training, I usually like to watch the cost because costs can go out of hand. You can have a misposted bill of ladings and things like that, or you're not keeping up with your costing file maintenance. It could cause bad margins, and that's something we don't want to see. So I look at the cost and then I look at the margins. And so people say, Bob, why are you making me do this? Why don't you just tell me who the bad guys are? Okay, why are you making me look through all the good guys for the bad guys? So that's our answer as we came up with alerts. One second here. So with that, hold on a second. Okay, with that. Okay, so the margin did that with customers. Customers, we elected to do two alerts to customers as well, and that would be the customer losses as well as customer automatic to we'll call switches, your heating oil. Okay, two very important things to watch on your customer gains and loss screen. And I constantly look at these things because they're very important for growth. Am I growing? Am I dying? And I typically look at here's one loss to price, unhappy with service, things like that you should be looking at on a daily basis. So again, another reason for an alert. In delivery, so you can see we picked two from each category. In delivery, we have missing miles and hours for your drivers, as well as deliveries that were very too low or way out of whack on the high side, above 90%, potential runouts, for example. Okay, so we do that as well. We also have two service ones in works on the callbacks and excess calls, but they're not developed yet. We're still developing them, and we'll be deploying them as soon as they're done. Now, what the objective is going to be is to finish the service ones, deploy all these alerts up to service, and then go back to the beginning and ask you guys, what do you want? Okay, we want to get feedback from you as far as whether these alerts are full enough. Do we need more settings? Do we need more alerts for certain categories? So we'll be looking to you guys to give us some ideas as far as what new alerts you'd like. In the heat of battle in January, February, when you don't have time to drill into all this data, because there's a lot of data in Bright, we know it's just overwhelming, that we can give you just one dashboard that shows all the alerts on it, and you can just work the alerts during the winter and not have to worry about going into Bright, the full Bright, if you know what I mean. Okay, so if anybody has a second screen, you could be happy to follow along with me. I'll show you how to now do alerts, how to set them up. Okay, so what you would do is you would go to this hamburger right here to the left of what is now delivery, and you go to the hamburger and go down. At the bottom here, you see alerts. You click on alerts, and it says alert management underneath it. Now, I'm going to click a different way because I'm a super user, so I need to have a little bit more features and functionality than you do. Okay, but that's how you get down on it. Again, you click on the hamburger. You go to the bottom and there's alerts, click on alerts, and it'll come up management. You click on that, and this is what you'll get. Let me just do it my way so I can, I'm clicking on my hamburger, I'm clicking on alerts, management, and there's the alert screen. Okay, now a lot of you may have gremlins from Angus monitoring systems. You'll already have some alerts. You're getting emails now, emails sent to you every day from your gremlins, your tank monitors. So when you create an alert, they create Second here. Let me get I have to get my demo system up here first. Second here. Okay, now I can create an alert. Create an alert. It shows you all the alerts that are available today. Here's all the alerts that are available today. And you see all these AMS alerts. AMS, that's Angus Monitoring Services. Okay, so if you don't have the gremlins, ignore those. Ignore those. We're working on categorizing these so you can suppress them. Okay, but for the time being, be patient. So anything with AMS having to do with tank monitors, there's also missing level exceptions and stuck gauge. Those right there are for you people that have gremlins. You already know what they are. Okay, here's the 6 that we came up with: automatic to will call tank transitions, delivered percent of usable outliers, delivery batch hours and miles, lost accounts, product unit cost outliers, and product unit margin outliers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up several of these for you just to show you how it's done. Usually when I do this on the phone with a client, the client takes over and just whips through this really fast. It's easy to set up. You can't hurt it. You can't hurt it. So let me just start setting one up. I'm going to select first margin outliers, product unit margin outliers. Okay, so what we're looking for is you have standards for your margins, right? So say, for example, you're selling propane and you want $1.50 a gallon margin. Okay, so anything below $1.50 is suspect, right? So what you want to do is you want to set up parameters, thresholds that when any transaction is in violation of that threshold, it reports to you. Okay, so there's no need to go into BRITE to do the clicking, to get to the column, to do the sorting. All you do is come to your alert widget, and it'll tell you all the people that are challenging your ability to make money. So the type is a category. There's nothing you can do with that. The name is, you control the name just like you do on your current widgets. You control the name, and that becomes important because you want to know the criteria that the exception is for, the alert is for. So for example, I'm going to do one, give me everybody less than everything for residential less than 90 cents. So I go like this. I'm going to just put margin less than 0.9, greater than $3. Okay, that's just my notes. I'm going to do residential. RES. Residential margins less than 90 cents, greater than $3. Oh, that's an equal sign, greater than $3. Okay. Days to review. Days, and this is common with every one of these. How many days do you want these alerts to stay in the alert widget or be reported to you in your email? Okay. At some point they become stale, right? They become stale. So what happens is we give you this right here and say, if you're going to check this every day, you would have a 1 in here, meaning all I need is 1 day. I'm going to check it every day. Most people have it set to 5 in case they get behind. They want to just see 5 days worth of alerts. Once it gets to the 6th day, the alert will fall off the edge. Okay, it won't appear anymore. That doesn't mean you can't up this to 50 or 5 or 15 or 20 days. Okay, you can control this. If you miss doing this for a week and a half, you say, oh, I got to do my exceptions. You can change this if you wanted to 14 days and then hit save, and we'll get the exceptions for 14 days. So most people have this set to 5 days, which is plenty. Unit margin threshold low, I said 90 cents, 0.90. Unit margin high threshold, I said $3. Now, why would you have a high threshold? You have a high threshold because it all depends on your costing. Quite often, if somebody doesn't do their job and doesn't post their bill of ladings properly, you'll have a zero cost. So what happens is that the amount of money you sold becomes the margin as well. So that's why we have a high threshold on margins. If there's a margin that's very, very high, it shouldn't be that high. You want to check that as well because it's an error. Okay. Product category, propane. You notice this is just like a lot of the other widgets. We're just giving you settings to answer, to find out what you want to see. Select trade classes. I don't typically use that. Well, I'll use residential for now. Residential. Okay, price plans, variable. I'm going to put variable. Most of my gallons are variable. Price code, I'm not going to use that right now, but that's price code. For example, some of your back office systems do have base price codes, and the base price codes are like we have a list of them here. For employees, bids, agricultural, whatever the case may be. I don't know what that is in this demo system, so I'm not going to use that. And then division, I want to do all divisions or whatever one division or two divisions you want to do. Hit save, and there's your alert. There's your first alert. Product user margin outliers. Here's my description. Residential margin less than 90 cents, greater than $3. Okay. Now over on the right-hand side here, you have 5 boxes. One is I call it the window pane. That is your test query. What are the results of the query we just did? So if I click on that, it'll go out, and then I have 2 people. I have 2 people that have been flagged as exceptions based on the criteria I just used. Okay, so I'll go over here and I'll go to the right. You have all the information you need. Okay, units delivered, unit price, unit cost, and there's the unit margin less than 90 cents. There's 2 of them. Oh, one was a state bid and one was a regular residential customer. So state bid, I understand the state bid is very, very low. It's 24 cents. Okay, so what you can do while you're in here, if there's a page of exceptions, if you have a lot of exceptions, you go through them, you can suppress them. You can suppress from seeing this, and while you're working on the other ones, you can suppress it. Oh, I got the answer to that one. I'm okay. Okay, all the rest can stay open for whoever else wants to see them. Okay, so I've suppressed that one. So that takes care of that exception. Now, what I want to do is I want to go to second here. I want to go to my application and I want to set up a widget. I want to set up a widget on my dashboard. Now, what I did was I set up an alert dashboard. See this alert dashboard right here? If you don't know how to set up a dashboard, in the bottom right-hand side, you click on add on the red dot. Click on add. You get two responses. One, do I want to add a widget to a dashboard that I'm on right now, or do I want to create a dashboard? You click on create a dashboard and you simply type in alerts and then hit add. This one's going to show up in the far right-hand side of the top right here. Okay, now I already have one. You can move these. Once you set it up, you can move these left and right. Okay, so I already set this up and I moved it all the way to the left. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to delete the one I just did. I don't need that. I'm sure, yes. So I have my alert dashboard. So what I want to do now is I want to go to the library and I want to add another alert. Go to alerts, alert results, add. It knows I was on the alert dashboard. It knows where it came from, and it just added it to the alert dashboard. So I exit, and there it is. There it is. So what I want to do is I want to go to settings, and I want to turn on what alert do I want? Well, I only have one. If I had multiples, there'd be multiples listed here. So I click on that one. Results. Results target. I don't usually use these, but the results target is the red, green, and yellows. If you have a target, say for example, you have there was only 2 that were violations here, but say you wanted at 5, you wanted to turn red. So you put your results target in here. What are you looking for? At 5, you want it to turn red. You put 5 in there, and the number would be red, and the warning level would be above that. Okay, so I typically don't use these right here colors because they don't mean anything to me, but you can use those if you want. And then we have a pulsing as well. You can pulse the number. The number will actually pulse in and out. Little sexy stuff we figured out adding. If you have a lot of them on the dashboard, maybe the ones you want to look at, the most important ones, could be pulsing. Hit save, and there's the 2 we just looked at. Now, clicking on the number, there's the 2. There's the 2 of them. Okay, now what I want to do is I want to get rid of this one here. Now what will happen now is if I go back out and back in, it's still showing up. supposed to suppress it. Oh, so that's something I'm going to have to check that out. It's supposed to be suppressing. Okay. Okay. So that's how you set up your first widget, your first dashboard, and your alert dashboard, and your first widget. Going to a second one, going back here. I'm going to set up, let's see, these are the 4 boxes. This is the edit box. If I want to go in and edit the widget I just did, I want to edit it. Okay, cancel. If I want to, say, for example, one of your colleagues in the office says, I really like that widget. Can you share that widget with me? What you can do is you can go here and just click on this, and it'll open up your widget. But the thing is, what's important about this is whoever creates the exception owns the exception. Nobody can change it. If there's a different email trying to change it, they can't change it. And they can't use it. So what'll happen is, they'll save as. I like this. I really like this exception. They'll save as, and they'll make whatever changes they want or leave it the way it is, and then hit save. And then the second one will be produced under their emails. And then they have the ability to do all these things with it. I'm just going to cancel this right now. Okay, so that's save as. That's save as if somebody else wants to use your exception. And then you have cancel. You can just click on this, and the exception will be deleted. And then you have this one is test an email. Okay, this widget can, and I'll be getting to emailing in a second. I'm going to do a few more of these, and then we're going to get into emailing. And this will be a test email as well. Okay, so now I'm going to create another widget. Create alert, type, and let's do, let me see, let's do delivery miles and hours. Let's see, delivery batch hours and miles. You know, when the driver goes around the world, 22,000 miles, when they in the miles in the batch header, or they put 0 miles in and 0 hours in, and you have to go correct that because all your KPIs are bad because they don't do that. This enables you to see who they are. Again, we have batch delivery hours and miles, 5 hours, 5 days of review. I set this to 14 hours because drivers can drive up to 14 hours in a given day. When it goes to 15, 16, you know they forgot to log out. You know that's the reason. And then above 300 miles, I have some clients that have very, very big territories. So they can conceivably go above 250 miles. So I just made it 300 miles, but you know what's best for your company. So I have 14 miles, 14 hours high and 300 miles high. Okay, and go ahead, save. I see there's any violations. There's 2 violations. Okay. Propane, residential, price plan, account number, customer name, tank number, is a delivery, unit price, unit cost, unit margin. I clicked on the wrong one. Clicked on the wrong one. Right here. Give me a second here. Yeah, here's the top one. So here it is right here. Okay. Let's see, get up to right here. Go to right. Miles, hours. See, it has 0 miles and 0.2 hours. 0.2 didn't fail. 0.2 is a value. So what I asked for was I want anybody that 0 is always included. Anytime you have a 0, regardless of the 14 and 300 I had in there, whenever you have a 0, it's obviously wrong. You can't deliver gallons without having any miles or hours. Okay, so that's why this one failed. There's only one violation failed here. And this is something you would fix in the back office system. And of course, BRITE would automatically update and it would fall off the list tomorrow night when we do the results, when we do the results of these exceptions, that this exception will be gone because you would have fixed it in the back office system. So that's delivery. Let me go to another one here. Let's create another one. See, let's do delivered percent of usable outliers. What that means is you have usable gallons in every tank, right? So you have a 275 tank with 250 usable. Okay. So I want to go in here and I want to identify any tanks that I delivered that were less than 50 deliveries, less than 50%, greater than 90%. Okay. Percent. Okay. So what that means is I want to see any delivery that was less than 50% on the low side. And also I want to see the ones that were challenging, potential runouts. Okay. And that becomes especially important in propane when you get into that 10% level. Propane guys usually get nervous at that level. So it shows you all those deliveries you made that were below 50% and above 90% for the last 5 days. Percent of usable threshold, make that 50, like we said, 50%, 90% for the high level product. This is propane. Trade class, not necessary. Delivery type, automatic. And division, all. Save. Okay, so now I want to look and see what I got. Here they are. Now, one of the things you should know about is this is the reporting grid that you're used to in BRITE. So you have access to the toggle tool panel and the groupings. Okay, now because all the users can share exceptions, we can't have you format this the way you want it on this screen right here, but you still have this feature up here where you can create a new format. So say, for example, I want to group this by division. So now I have it by division, expand all, really nice layout. By division, I have all these problems I have to work on by division. Okay. What I could do is I go up to the top here and I can hit create new, and do by division. And now I have the report format saved for me. So when I come back in, it goes to the default report at the bottom, but I just go like this, by division, and it reformats by division for me. Okay, so those exceptions that are voluminous, that have a lot of exceptions that you have to work on, it may be easier for you to reformat the standard report as you drill in, reformat the standard report. So and then save it, and so you can go to the top here and select the format that you want to use to make it easier for you during the day. Okay, so that's that. And let's do one more. Let's do lost accounts. I want to do lost accounts, create alert. Lost accounts. 1 day to review. I'll make it 5. 5 days to review. Lost accounts. Now this right here, you can see all your lost accounts, all your terminated customers, okay? Or you can see just the ones that have bad reasons. For example, when you lose an account, you lost it to they sold the property, or they're deceased, or they did a conversion to natural gas. Those are normal routines of business that happen. They're negative because you lost the account, but there's nothing you can do about that. Okay. I usually like to hone in on the other things like loss due to poor service. Okay, or to price and things like that. I'm going to run this for all, but you can select individual reasons. Natural gas, loss to price. You can run it for individual ones if you wanted to. I'm going to do it all so I can guarantee getting some in here. Lost units, high threshold. I'm going to say I care about it if the guy I lost buys 300 gallons a year. Okay, it's pretty low gallons. Okay. And lost margin, I'm going to make that $500. Okay, so I'm going to get anybody who has above 300 gallons that I lost and above $500 that I lost. All divisions. Save. And here we go. And there's all the ones I lost. All the residential, commercial ones I lost. So you see, there's probably another one of those that I'd like to do by division, just so I can get some organization to it by division. So each of the branch managers would only see their division, by the way. So if you have separate branches by division, so you already have that format in there. So the format's already in there. You only have to put it in there once. It's already in there. Okay, so now we did these four. We did these four of the six we did. All right, so now what I want to do is I want to show you how to. Well, let me set these up in the dashboard. So you have the whole dashboard here. I go back here. So I set up three more. So I'm going to bring three more widgets forward from the library to set them up. 1, 2, 2, 3. Okay. May have set up a little bit more, but I did. Delete. Yes. Delete. Yes. Okay, we have three additional ones, right? So we have this one, settings. Now you see there's listed the four we set up. Okay, so we already did the margin one. Let's do the lost accounts one. Okay, hit save. Here's your 10. Settings. We have delivery batch hours miles. Should be one there. There was only one that we had. And then settings. Settings. Yeah, settings. Alert. Deliveries less than 50%, greater than 90%. Save. So there's all your so you notice I set the alerts dashboard up as the first dashboard. Why? Because when you sign on to BRITE, the main BRITE, okay, the first dashboard is the one that comes up, the first one to the left. So if you want to just set the dashboard up with all your alerts here, don't forget you saw all the settings on the back of the alert itself that I set up. You can have, like, for example, I just set up residential for a certain price. You can set up commercial for a certain price, agricultural. So you can have many exception widgets going across the page. So you have to just figure out how you want to design this page of all your alerts across the top. You can have unlimited going down as well. So you may want to have maybe a row of margin alerts, a row of lost account alerts, a row of delivery alerts by category. So you can see, and then you just click on 10 and drill in and look at them. Okay, and try to figure out what's going on with these. Okay, now these are the exceptions. Now you don't have to go into the main BRITE to find the exceptions anymore. You can go right to the front here and find them. Now, one last thing I want to do is I want to set up the emails. Okay, so I'm going back to the here. And one of the things I didn't show you here is that when you're in here, edit, at the bottom of every one of these, there's a box called email. You click on that and it opens up a whole other set of criteria. Okay. Do you want to email this? Now, some of these you don't want to email, such as the delivery is less than 50%, greater than 90%. That's something you need to work on a desktop and it's too voluminous. But so I think margins is an important one to have an email. I think lost accounts is an important one to have an email. Miles and hours, certainly to the dispatcher, have them have an email for that, because there aren't that many of them. And if there's too many, you won't do it. Okay, if it's one or two or three or five, you'll probably do it. So you get the emails. So here's the emails right here. So this is what appears in the subject line of the email. Okay, So I can change this to say residential margin, margin, um, see, see, it was less than 90, greater than $3. There we go. Okay, so that's what's going to appear in your subject line, okay, of the email. Add email. I'll add my email because I want to demo it to you. And you can't forget to add the plus sign. Got to hit the plus sign, otherwise it won't let you save. The plus sign, so it just bounced up there. Now, if you're controlling this for everybody in your organization, like for example, for the dispatcher, I might recommend that to start off with one person do this in your office and allow other people to use your exceptions. But certainly for this one here, um, you can send this to anybody you want. So one person can set this up, but you can send it to anybody you want. Any email can go to anybody. Okay. So I just set this to myself down here, and you have all these are the column names, column headings. Insert date, we don't need insert date. So we have division, delivery date, transaction number, product, trade class, price plan, account number, customer name, tank number, and units delivered. Okay. We have our prices, unit price, unit cost, unit margin, price code description. Okay. Hit save. And you can also, these equal signs, if you hold your left click down, you can move these anywhere you want. You want to reverse this and say, I want my price code description first, like this, and you move it. So any of these can be moved in a different sequence if you want to see it. So hit save. So now I can test this email. Right here is that was the margin, right? That was margin. Test the email. It says attempted to send test email alert. So now when I go to my email, there it is. That's fast. See my email. There's the email. Okay. Everything you need is in there. Shows you who it is. And there's the margins less than 90 cents. There's nothing greater than $3. Okay. Okay, go back here. Okay. I do one for margin outlier. Margin outlier we just did. I'll do batch delivery hours and miles. Edit. Emails at the bottom. Same exact thing. You can see how easy this is. It's self-explanatory. It's kind of intuitive. The one thing I always do is I forget to click the plus sign when I add my email. But it won't let you save if you do that. So then you have all your columns here. Delivery date, delivery batch, batch driver number, driver ID, driver, truck number, truck name, miles, hours, units, which is really what you're watching, these two right here. Units, delivery count, and tank count. I don't need tank count there. Okay, hit save. Now I do a test email. Attempted to send test email alert. There's my second one. Delivery batch hours and miles alert. And there's the one guy who had 0 miles. So this, if you get this email, these emails come about 4 o'clock in the morning. Okay, so this is something you would put the dispatcher's email address in there, and he would get this in the morning, or he or she, and then would change, fix it when he got to the office. Okay. Okay. See here. Okay. Are there any questions about anything? Bryce, you have any questions?
Yeah, so if anyone has any questions, you can submit it in the Q&A function in the webinar. But while I give people a minute to maybe submit their questions, Bob, I had one for you.
Okay.
Considering what happened this last season with weather and things, what would you say is like, in your mind, probably the most important alert for everyone to set up in their Bright dashboard going into next season?
Well, there's certain ones that I always like. There's standards like margins. I always say it's all about margins, right? Margins to me are one of the most important things to watch on a daily basis. And it's the one thing you should be able to control. So the answer to that question really is it goes by category. The margins to me is one of the most important things that, regardless of time of year, that's something that you should watch every day, every single day. The low and high deliveries, the low and high deliveries. Obviously, we had some cold weather this year, and there were larger than normal deliveries. Um, we got to watch the high side as well on the deliveries. So a low delivery could be you delivered it early and you would know that, or the K factor is bad. The K factor is bad. On the top side, the K factor could be bad too, but on the top side, when you get above a 90% delivery or 95% delivery, getting close to the run out, nobody likes runouts. Nobody wants runouts. And that's so when I do performance reviews, I key in on that very, very heavily, the high side. When I overextend or over deliver, I pay much more attention to those than I do about the underside, under delivery, because the company takes the hit on the under delivery, but the over delivery, the customer then becomes affected, and of course that causes you pain. So that's what I would do is those two would be the low percent and the high percent on deliveries as well as the margins. And another thing also, by the way, this past season I'm just seeing a lot of um, deliveries that are 200-gallon deliveries, 150, 125. Seeing a lot of deliveries of automatic customers that are getting delivered early because they can't afford to get the bigger deliveries. They want just they don't want a full tank. They want a short fill. Okay, so those are the ones that have been a problem for us this season as well. Okay.
Awesome. I got one question that just popped up here, which is, are you able to set up an alert by salesman?
Not at this time, but by salesman, I don't think that would be in the margin analysis, or would that be in customer gains and losses? The answer is, can we? Technically, the answer is yes. In what context, I need to know. Um, are you looking at being added as a setting on the back of one of the widgets, or are you looking for a salesman widget, or are you looking for um, lost accounts by sales rep or something like that?
Got it. Awesome. Well, if there's no other questions, this has been great, and I know Bob is going to be available for some other live demos, some one-on-ones. If you want it, you
Yeah.
can certainly reach out to him and schedule it. Like I mentioned at the top of the webinar, I'll be sending out an email just with some more information documents and things for you to reference. A lot of what Bob has talked about here, as well as a survey. We'd love if you guys could take the survey, let us know how you thought this went, and then let us know any other topics that you would want us to cover. Angus will be doing a lot of webinars over the summer and going into next season, so we want to make sure we're covering the topics that you actually want to hear. But thank you, Bob, and thank you everyone who showed up. I hope you all have a great rest of your week.
And thank you, Bryce. And please add my email to the email that you're sending these folks with the documentation. I'd be very, very pleased to have a half hour to a 45-minute session with you one-on-one on these. If you didn't absorb everything, sorry for my New York speed. I talk very fast. Um, but I'll be very happy to have a online video conference with you. Okay, thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, everyone.